Good morning. Let's have a look at yesterday. Brighton and Chelsea flirting with taking on that 2-0 lead for Brighton, but I didn't do anything yesterday. The market leaves clues as well. 2.3, the favourite. QPR and Derby. This went the way of the league positions, didn't it? QPR 3 points away from a promotion playoff place. So a vital win for them. But it would have been a vital win or collection of points for Derby. They are stuck on goal difference in the relegation zone. But a win, it's so tight at the bottom. A win could take them all the way up to 19th next time. Preston Auxerre, I mentioned this on Telegram. If you did cash out at the 1-1, well done. We had that disallowed goal as well, which does give a little bit of confidence. Did get the 1-1, then it turned into a 1-2. So if you didn't cash out there, here on the hour mark, you'd have been sweating it a little until the 79th minute equaliser there. Red Star and Martigues, relegation threatened side, so any 0-0 at half-time, arguably layable second half. 46-minute goal for Benali. And a vital win at the bottom of French League 2. Red Star out of the relegation zone with that win. Vital, these relegation 6-pointers to take on or take 3 points from your nearest rival. Augsburg and Leipzig, I didn't play that one yesterday, thankfully. Magdeburg and Köln, again, 2 sets of 0-0s at half-time. Again, the need for points, great for both teams. But you would have been expecting the Billy Goats to have done something yesterday. But it was a top 4 clash, top 5 clash. But you see the vital importance of 3 points for Magdeburg all the way up into the promotion playoff places now. Köln, well, dropping 3 points yesterday has tightened it. Now they're looking behind their backs at Hamburg, Magdeburg, Kaiserslautern, Paderborn, and arguably Dusseldorf. But these are the major players.
This market is now in play.
The top five. So relegation, well, promotion 6-pointer, relegation 6-pointer here. Another 0-0 at half-time. Could have arguably laid that one as well. If you look at the standings for Paderborn and Preußen Munster for different reasons. Paderborn edging towards Magdeburg, Hamburg, only 1 point away now from the promotion playoff places or the promotion place. Preußen Munster just above the relegation zone, but they could have done with broadening that gap, couldn't they? Only 2 points above. Irish Premier Division, the only real upset yesterday in the opening day of the season, 1.48. St. Pat's absolutely dominated, but just couldn't cross the line. Not going to be laying 0-0 at this stage. There's nothing to work off, is there? 16 goal attempts. It's one-way traffic. Any woodwork, hit the woodwork once.
This market has been suspended.
So if you did lay the draw, you'd have been a tad unhappy about that. Kerry, this would be a rare win for Kerry in the Irish First Division against Finn Harps. 2.28 the favourite, but the market fancied them, and they had to last 21 minutes down to 10 men. There's old Bradley Walsh from the Chase. Nice to see him playing a bit of footy. So that's going to be a rarity. But it was a watching brief yesterday in Ireland. We didn't have anything to work off. Bologna and Torino. Well, strange to see Torino scoring 2 goals. Did they lead at any stage? Yes, they did. I think they would have been gettable here. Again, Che Adams is proving to be a major difference for Torino. But I think Bologna, well, Torino gettable at the 1-2. You'd have been helped by a penalty and an own goal, but it was thoroughly deserved. If you have an in-play stats feed, this is the way you make that choice. 23 goal attempts, 7 shots on, 10 off, 8 corners, 15 shots inside the box. ticking all the boxes, and it's all one-way traffic. You can tell by the colour. 12 goal attempts in the second half. So thoroughly deserved for Bologna, and arguable you take on a Torino 1-2 lead because they're not used to scoring 2 goals. This one, I think it was a 2-0 lead, indeed. This lot were odds on, unpronounceable names, 1.62, all dependent on the liquidity in the match. Boom, boom, Merry Christmas. So 1.62, do check the stats if you don't know the teams very well. Girona and Getafe, this success or otherwise would have been down to whether you cashed out here at the 1-1. Once you cash out, or you lock it in, as I say, then all of this doesn't matter. The 1-2 and then the red card, you'd have been kicked in the vernaculars by those two had you not cashed out there. That's what I was looking for, the equaliser, because you deal with the in-play stats at that moment in time, and they were suggesting an equaliser. So had you got that and you cashed out, well done. If you didn't cash out, well, that's what happens. But sometimes you can turn it into a win. So it's all dependent on the match. So some interesting football yesterday. We also had the Danish Super League beginning, I think, with a Brøndby win. But let's have a look at today. Austrian Bundesliga, got a couple of odds-on favourites. They'll already get a tick in there for my live stream at 2:30 today, I think, for the Germans. Belgian Jupiler League, well, it's all go in Belgium. Let's have a look at where these teams are. See if there's any motivating factor. So you can see Leuven and Dender. Are they relegation threatened? Well, Leuven are. They are only 1 point above the 4 relegation places. Dender are only 2 points above Leuven. So this is arguably a relegation 6-pointer. This win today could make the difference this season for Leuven and Dender. So you'd be looking at laying that late draw. Antwerp and Kortrijk are stuck. They will get into the 20-plus point barrier with a win today, which could help them try to get out, but they're running out of matches. Antwerp, well, they're happily ensconced in the promotion playoff play. It's not promotion, it's the championship group, because this is the top flight already. So this will be the group which breaks off vying for the Champions League and Europa League places. This will be the group for the Conference League. So they're happily ensconced there. Another 3 points could take them up a place and just broaden that gap between them and Standard Liège. That's the important battle for them. Sint-Truiden and Club Brugge. Club Brugge second, will remain second with a win today. Genk are having a hell of a season. Sint-Truiden, well, they're in the relegation zone. They will stay in the relegation zone with a win today. So vitally important matches to be played in the Jupiler League. We've got a couple of odds-on favourites as well. Dinamo Zagreb at home to Gorica. It should be as easy as you like, but they have suffered from struggling, probably post and pre-European club competition, but they're out of it now against AC Milan for the time being. That 2-1 loss to Osijek, we got out of that one with a break even. That was more like it. 3-0 against Sibonek. What were their odds? 1.17, same odds as today. This is a textbook 1.17. Goal before half-time, 3-0, 3-1, any other home score. Perfect. Will they do that today? It makes life a whole lot easier for you if they do. So you're expecting a goal before half-time, expecting 3-0, 3-1, any other home score. Czech One League, lots of odds-on favourites there today. Well worth following. I'll be following that in my live stream as well. We've got the Pragues out. Dukla Prague, Sparta Prague away from home, tend to deliver. Premier League, well, should be a comfortable afternoon for the arse, but do check. Do we have any upcoming football, Champions League football? because when you've got an away side, let's just get that right. When we've got an away side involved in the Champions League, they can always fall foul. So let's just fast forward to Tuesday and see whether we've got that distraction for the arse, because otherwise it's an easy afternoon against Leicester City. So it doesn't look as though there's any Champions League. Yes, there is. Okay. Champions League playoffs. Note these sides: AC Milan, Feyenoord, Atalanta, Club Brugge, Bayern Munich, Celtic, Benfica and Monaco. One or two of these sides are going to slip up this weekend. Just that distraction. But which one? That's the question. And then I think it continues on the Wednesday. Dortmund, Sporting Lisbon, Paris Saint-Germain and Brest meeting again. They'll be sick of the sight of each other, particularly Paris Saint-Germain. Well, Brest just keep getting beaten by Paris Saint-Germain. PSV, Juve, Real Madrid and Man City. So that's the Champions League group. Do we have any Europa League? Yes, we do. So be careful of these names. Roma, Porto, Bodo Glimt, Twente. These are second legs, don't forget. Galatasaray, Ajax. So a lot of these are in a sandwich weekend, pre and post European club competition, particularly the Europa League and the Champions League. We've got the first legs and the second legs. I didn't see mention of the Arsenal there. So it looks as if their Champions League campaign will be upcoming. So do note that Aston Villa at home should be easy as you like against Ipswich. I can't see them faltering. Fulham and Nottingham Forest. Interesting that Fulham are favourite. Isn't that interesting? Let's have a look. Break off and have a look at this one. Based on the seasonal form, why are Fulham favourite against what is a top four side in Forest? Let's have a look. This is soccerstats.com. A good way for you to have a real sense of the seasonal form. I've only got two moves. It's the same story again. I don't know what to do here. Well, if you've only got two moves, how do you get rid of the gold there? Yeah, that's for another live stream. Trying to solve that. Right, Fulham, only the 3 defeats since the 26th of October, but far too many draws. 4 consecutive draws at home and then a loss to Man United. So that's not the form of a favourite for me, is it? It's far too many score draws as well. Nottingham Forest, well, they've been wonderful since the 7th of December, only losing to Bournemouth. A heavy defeat to Bournemouth and then a heavy win against Brighton. Brighton winning, I think it was yesterday. So 10 goals in 2 home matches for Forest, but a 5-0 drubbing at Bournemouth. What went wrong? That's the question mark. Or what went right? Looks like Utara went right for Bournemouth. So for me, that's not the form of a favourite, is it, for Fulham? Although they are only a marginal favourite. 10th against 3rd. Well, Fulham's record against the top 4 is pretty good. Let's be honest. 2 away wins against 3rd and 4th already. But they've only played 1 of the top 5 at home, and that was a 1-1 draw with the Arsenal. So they're not going to be fearing anybody. Look at these solid results. Maybe that's the reason why they're favourite. But do note the scoring and conceding pattern. Nottingham Forest on the road, where you can see their problem straight away, can't you? Well, as soon as they meet the top 8, they tend to drop points. But they look pretty solid against 8th and lower. So that makes it a difficult match, doesn't it? Fulham against the top 8 at home are unbeaten, scoring and conceding. But against 8th and lower, Nottingham Forest have only the 1 defeat. And that, ironically, against Fulham. So an interesting match. Not sure why Fulham are odds on. Watch out for second half goals here, particularly conceding For Fulham, 72% of their home goals conceded in the second half. 61% of goals scored by Forest came second half. And note, straight out of the blocks at the beginning of the second half. 6 goals scored. Could be down to subs, perhaps. So for me, strange market. Yes, they're unbeaten against the top 8 at home, but do score and concede. But this lot, only the one loss against 8 and lower, home and away. Very interesting match. Manchester City and Newcastle, well, you wouldn't be backing this lot at odds on any day of the week, would you? Bournemouth away at the Saints should be picking up a comfortable win. But don't forget, this is that time of the season where points mean prizes for the relegation-threatened sides. Talk about Leicester as well. West Ham and Brentford is a London derby, so be very careful with that. Add in the 2.45, the favourite. Oh boy, not very appealing, is it? Crystal Palace and Everton, an interesting match, but don't forget, we've got that cloud hanging over us. New manager syndrome for David Moyes' Everton. You don't look at their seasonal form. You only look at their form under Moyes, because it's been an obvious change. He's unlocked the goals, David Moyes. 3 goals here. A couple of occasions at home, in particular, they've scored before half-time. Consistently, that was a brilliant performance against Liverpool. Last gasp, Tarkowski goal. That was an FA Cup defeat. So in the Premier League, they are doing incredibly well. You can't discount them at all under Moyes, the new manager syndrome. So that makes that a little bit skinny, 1.8 for Crystal Palace. Championship, my first port of call will be the odds-on favourites during the live stream. You can tell it's a tough coupon today. Anything above 2.3 as a favourite, the market's telling you they can't pick the winner. 2.63 there, 2.7 there, 2.4, 2.55. It is a very, very difficult coupon in the English Championship. I will be following it predominantly via the in-play stats today. But let's just have a look at the movers and the shakers. Leeds absolutely dominating. Sheffield United got that recent win against Middlesbrough. Both winning goals coming in the second half for the Blades. Burnley, clean sheet itis, 0-0 itis. But they've knocked that on the head with a 1-0 win against Oxford. That was an own goal. And a 2-0 win against Hull. That's more like it for Burnley. They are adept at keeping clean sheets, that's for sure. Sunderland doing all of their best work at home. Are they playing today? Doesn't look like they are, does it? Blackburn are at home to Plymouth. 48, add 3 to that, up to the 51-point barrier. Don't forget, this lot's battle is with those 7th and lower. They've got to keep above them. Their opponents, Plymouth, are smacked down the bottom, but a couple of consecutive wins, including against Liverpool. And they are on their way to that 30-point barrier with a win today. Could be one of those interesting matches, this one. I wouldn't be necessarily discounting Plymouth. They have their momentum since beating Liverpool. Could just be a change in mentality, couldn't it? If we can beat the Reds, a much changed Reds, and we can do anything. Hull, Old Rod, against Norwich, 2.63 the favourite. It's a very tough to call match. They are just above the relegation zone, Hull, so vitally important for them to get points. Norwich just slipping a little recently. That 1-1 draw to Derby, and then that loss to Preston. They are running out of time. They are 4 points to the promotion playoff places. So it's still gettable, but some of these sides above them have a game in hand. Luton and Sheffield United. Sheffield United happily ensconced in the automatic promotion spot. Another win today will keep the gap between them and Burnley. So it's vital for Sheffield United to maintain that momentum. But Luton Town, mid-table mediocrity. Note they're at the bottom, which is unbelievable, coming off the Premier League. But a win today takes them to 30 points and out of the relegation zone. So it's all matches of great importance, isn't it? Middlesbrough, 3 points takes them possibly, or at least level with a top 6 team. They have erred on a couple of occasions recently, 2 consecutive losses, but they are priced to win today. They've been playing some big boys, top 4 sides, so they do have a chance today against Watford, who are 13th in the league. But again, Watford can still vie with another 3 points all the way up to 7th and within a hair's breadth of the promotion playoff places. So it's a very, very competitive league, as you'd expect. Millwall, no one likes them, but they don't care. Mid-table, and again, 3 points takes them to 43, but again, only within 4 points the win of the promotion playoff places. West Brom, the Baggies, they are holding on to that last place in 6th, but a win today takes them to that important 50-point barrier. Only 4 sides have managed to get over 50 points this season. Sheffield Wednesday and Coventry, 8th, and again, another one vying for a promotion playoff place. Coventry under Fat Frank, 44 points. So they are, again, only 3 points away. So that these kind of matches, I would be looking at laying the late draw. 3 points could be crucial. Stoke against Swansea. Stoke are too near to the relegation zone. So, Swansea a little bit safer. Some 8 points above. That's 2 wins and 2 draws above the relegation zone. So that is vital. 37, a win today takes him to that 40-point barrier and a chance, an outside chance at the playoffs. Wow, talk about a competitive championship today. No wonder it's 2.55, 2.4, 2.7. These are probably the highest odds you're going to see for a favourite in a football match. 2.7, 2.8. So the market leaves clues. It's going to be a tough afternoon doing the championship. League One as well. My first port of call will be the odds-on favourites there today. This is a good way to generate trading angles. Odds-on favourites. Put them into the My Games facility up here. As you can see, collecting them all. Have the sound on, and you'll be alerted whenever a goal has come in an odds-on favourites match. It's a good way to generate trading angles because you're inferring that the market has done its work and you're just hoping that the market is accurate. For example, if Wigan score first today, that will be an angle in for me there. Marseille, Saint-Etienne should be easy as you like for Marseille. Saint-Etienne a bit too near the relegation zone. Can blow hot and cold. Well, they are in that relegation playoff place, which worst case scenario will be what they're wishing for, to have another tilt at staying up. A win today will break the 20-point barrier, but they're going to be tough. They're playing Marseille, who are holding on to that Champions League place. Monaco, their Côte d'Azur rivals. Look at the Côte d'Azur sides, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. I'll be looking forward to going down to my villa next to my pal Elton John to watch one of these matches soon. Monaco and Nantes, again, watch out for pre and post Champions League for Monaco. They could be vulnerable. So we get our skates on here, move to Tuesday, have a look. Monaco, no, because they have been vulnerable pre-Champions League, Monaco. Not on this occasion. It's the 2 French sides, PSG and Brest, that we need to look out for. PSG are away at Toulouse. That might be a potential banana skin. 3 out of 3 odds-on favourites. French Ligue 2 as well will get some interest from us, but 2.55 the favourite, 2.45 the favourite suggests maybe another day. Paris FC, top of the league. Bundesliga, Dortmund did well in the Champions League midweek. St. Pauli have put together an unbeaten run recently for their tilt at staying up. Where are they? The newly promoted St. Pauli, just above the relegation zone. They're looking okay at the moment. It's a 7-point gap. All thanks. Can you imagine if they didn't get these 2 wins and that draw? Take those 7 points away, and they're bang smack in trouble. So they're going to have a degree of confidence, St. Pauli, particularly at home. Freiburg are vying for Europe. So that's I can't discount St. Pauli at home, but another 2.5 the favourite suggests we don't research that one. Stuttgart, pre and post Champions League, have been excellent. They tend to be very reliable side. Union Berlin and Mönchengladbach. This is one of those. Well, why don't we have a look at this one? It's a muddling match. I can't pick a winner, but can the stats pick out any patterns for us to look at? Union Berlin and Mönchengladbach. Let's have a look. Well, it looks awful, doesn't it, for Union Berlin? Oh boy. This is the opposite to last season. This is the kind of form they had at the beginning of last season, and they started picking up wins. But this is awful stuff, isn't it? 2 consecutive clean sheets, though, might be a cause for celebration. Mönchengladbach coming off the back of beating Stuttgart, which was very impressive, and drawing with Eintracht Frankfurt. Again, 2 impressive yardsticks there. Beating Bochum, you'd expect them to. Losing to Leverkusen and Bayern Munich recently. Only 4 defeats since the 19th of October. 2 of them against big boys, Leverkusen and Bayern. It's not too shabby, but they are more vulnerable away from home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 7 recent matches they've failed to win. So, difficult. They have scored and conceded, Mönchengladbach, in the last 5 away. So that's something for you to note. 13th against 8th. Well, it tells a story, the challenge table, doesn't it? Really, for both sides. Only the 1 win, home and away, for Union Berlin against the top 10. But they have had an unbeaten run against 3rd to 10th at home. So it could argue that they are pretty solid at home. But when they have conceded that second goal, they have lost. Mönchengladbach, well, you can tell quite clearly, on the road is not where they're going to be picking up their points, is it? But they do have a cluster of wins against 13th and lower. That's what they'll be pinning their hopes on today. But this is awful stuff, isn't it? So both sides, well, Union Berlin's home form is pretty good, but they must make sure they don't concede that second goal, because when they have, they've lost. Looking at the goal times, and if they don't score first half, Union Berlin at home, they might be in trouble. 90% of their goals scored at home have come first half. And it's a stark contrast with Mönchengladbach. 9 of their 11 goals scored, 82% have come second half. So you could arguably see a Union Berlin lead at half time potentially brought back in the second half. But 72% of goals conceded have come second half for Mönchengladbach. So certainly any 0-0 at half time could be vulnerable second half. Tricky one, isn't it? Union Berlin and Mönchengladbach. On home form, only lost twice when they conceded 2 goals. Clearly struggling away from home, Mönchengladbach, but very solid against Union Berlin and lower in the league. Leverkusen and Bayern Munich, derby-style match, so I'll leave this one alone. The Bundesliga 2 will be worth following. You saw taking on those 2 draws yesterday. That will be the same story here today. Potential need for points suggests we take on any draw. See Magdeburg's win yesterday, what that has done to them. Don't forget, we're heading towards April, the end of the season. So points now could make the difference, particularly for a side like Braunschweig, who go to 21 with a win today. Playing Darmstadt in 12th, so arguably a relegation 6-pointer. Darmstadt will be keen to keep that 7-point gap between them and third bottom. Elversborg, thank you very much. There's old Elversberg in 8th. Not left the building just yet. 32 points. A win takes them to 35. Greuther Fürth, mid-table mediocrity, but a little bit too near the relegation zone for their liking. Kaiserslautern, where are they? More mid-table mediocrity for them? No, they're top 4. Kaiserslautern, a win today could take them into the promotion playoff places. And they're playing Hanover today in 7th. So the motivation with the home side here, surely. But the market's not taken at all by that. Dusseldorf in 6th. Again, a win today takes them to 37 within a hair's breadth of 2nd, 3rd and 4th. So again, a vital win. Hertha Berlin will be sick of the sight of this league. They're a big, big side. They shouldn't be forever labouring in the Bundesliga's vibe. But if you keep losing, you're in trouble. They're squabbling for relegation. 3 points takes them to 28 and a hopeful move up into a near top 10 position. So plenty to play for. I would be keen on looking at Kaiserslautern today with home advantage. Trying to make that home advantage count in looking for an automatic promotion spot to the Bundesliga. Fantastic stuff. AK Athens at 6 o'clock. Irish Premier Division continues. Has to be a watching brief at this stage. We've got absolutely no form to work off. Atalanta and AC Milan, both involved in the Champions League. But I think AC Milan are involved next week, aren't they? We can do our check. Again, that's Wednesday. The Dortmund are playing today. Watch out. PSG are away at Toulouse. Just watch out. Man City are playing as well. Monaco playing. Atalanta and AC Milan are both in the Champions League playoffs against Feyenoord and Club Brugge. So those are going to distract. They do have home advantage today, but they are going to be distracted. Serie B, Sud Tirol have been the eye catchers, putting together a good run of wins. Sassuolo, something ridiculous like 20 plus goals scored at home in the last half hour of matches. So if Brescia are leading, coming to the hour mark, fear not, Sassuolo will go for it. So Sud Tirol standing out there. Lots of good football today, lots of competitive football. PSV involved in Europe, I believe. Feyenoord as well, I saw them. There they are. So watch out for an underperformance. PSV have been awful pre and post Champions League. They've been dropping points. 1-1 against Willemsvee. 3-3 against NEC Nijmegen. This is not what you expect of PSV at Eindhoven. 3-1 loss to Pek Zwolle as well, just before the Champions League. You note after the Champions League, dropping points. Before the Champions League, dropping points. So it's a clear motivating factor, or lack thereof, for PSV. Clear distraction. Feyenoord as well, away from home, could have a target on their back pre-Champions League. Polish Ekstraklasa has been a very tradable league. I'll be following these two. And those are the main ones today. I will see. Oh, we've got the Spanish La Liga as well. Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid away. Lots of good stuff. Villarreal, been in impeccable form of late. What's out for Valencia? They might tighten the ship because they've dropped, or they've conceded a huge amount of goals to Barcelona recently. 12 goals in 2 matches against Barca. So watch out for a defensive display from Valencia today. La Liga 2. Well, the clock is ticking. Lots and lots of good football. I'll see members for a live stream at 2:30 today. If you fancy joining that live stream, we'll join Football Trading Profits members area. Or you could look, I'll be sending Premier League research out to those who've put their name and email address down here. And don't forget, on YouTube, we had 2 live streams last weekend at Football Trading Profits. Make sure you subscribe for the next free live stream. And what I'll be doing, I'll be posting some videos on tennis, trading, and some additional areas we're looking at, bet and go strategies. But that would be part of a Patreon. I'll be doing that separately. So if you want to have a look at that. More talk about horse racing and other elements, staking plans, and not just the football. We'll be moving a lot into tennis as well. So if you're interested in that, do sign up for youtube.com/@footballtradingprofits. See you from 2:30 onwards today for a live stream. Members of Football Trading Profits.